Diana, hello, hello. How are you?
I'm I'm excellent. The sun is beautiful day today. A little
It,
chilly for it's like you wake up one day and suddenly it's autumn.
I know, right? I mean, because it seems like, and it seems like it was just a couple weeks ago where, it was so hot and, you were like the heat, the heat, the heat. And my mom lives in Minnesota and she said the other day it was like 40 some degrees in the morning.
That's what I have going on here. Last night didn't get quite so low, but the night before it was 41 degrees through the night.
God, it just seems like it's just so fast.
And it doesn't seem like we're going to have Indian summer this year.
I hope so, because that's one thing I really looked forward to when
Yeah.
we lived in the Midwest, is that Indian summer.
Yeah. And that's when the colors get their most vibrant, too.
Yeah. But the lighting today, the sun is out, it's beautiful. You look beautiful. And thank you for
Thank you. But so do you. I mean, we all are
oh, well,
feeling, I think we're all feeling this release of yesterday's humongous
energy, right?
eclipse, red moon, harvest moon. Well, it used to be the harvest moon. The harvest moon has been moved to October, but this is the corn moon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in England, it's the barley moon, because this is the ripening of the times, right? This
It is.
all the feed corn's getting pulled in now.
Yep. Yep, it won't be long. Yep, the farmers will be in the field. And it honestly just seems like, I was asking a friend in Minnesota, because they say like around the 4th of July the corn should be knee high.
Yeah.
And it seems like I was just asking that question, just the other day. It just seems like boom, it was July.
I know. It's like, I can't believe it's September. I can't believe that we just had Labor Day weekend.
I know.
Let
I know.
alone.
Well, thanks everybody for being here. And Annie is in the house. Annie, hello. Thank you so much for being here. Hello to Kelly and Diana. And I am Lulu from your channel, Diana. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And Barbara Berkman, thank you for being here. That's so kind. And Andrea, hello. Thanks for being here. And Jules, hi. Mary, hello. Thanks everybody for being here. And Lauren, hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Lauren, thank you for being here. Hello, good afternoon.
I just turned on my phone so I could see the chat.
And Millie says, hello, Diana and Kelly. Thank you for being here, Millie.
Jules, learning to listen.
Yeah.
Hot diggity.
So thank you everybody for being here. And what we're going to do today is we're going to spotlight Diana, because she's an amazing woman and so talented, so gifted. And we want to showcase Diana. And obviously, we have her subscribers here and some of mine. And so, anybody watching now or in the future, please go subscribe to Diana's channel. I have the link in my show notes, and show Diana some love. But I want to start out by saying that Diana is an astrologer. She is a reader. Oh, I just get goosebumps. She's a channeler, an artist, a writer, a seer, and she has done the artwork for Dr. Gail's book and the second one that is in the making right now. She is a beekeeper, and she is apothecary. I can never say the word apothecary. She makes creams, and she's a mom. And I know I'm missing things too.
think you covered it.
But so your readings, let's just quickly, you do astrology readings, oracle and tarot readings.
Oracle, tarot, mediumship, akashic, whatever you're looking for, I can do it.
And she's good. And she's good.
Thanks.
And how could people reach out to you?
Just through my email, which is Oilpntr, OILPNTR @AOL.com.
Okay.
One of the old AOL holdouts here.
Oh, I
But
love it.
you know, if I changed it, how many thousands of people? No. Well, at least 200 people would have to get new addresses from me.
No, it works. And I just, she's an amazing reader. We have a show Tuesday night that we do, the dream show, and Diana has amazing dreams, and she'll sketch and do artwork of her dreams, and it's absolutely beautiful.
So if you were in the dream show audience on the night that last week, when we decided we're going to go breathe blue vapor over the White House, I did get there. I did get there. When I first was there, I was over the Capitol.
Oh, Diana. Wow.
I had that card. Let me see. Do I still have it close by? No. That it's from this deck. It was the Fearless card, where it had these beautiful indigo, deep indigo wings, almost black. And Oriel, who is the alchemist of the archangels and one of my personal guides, had put the top of the wings that color with that same ferny, feathery look to it. And then as it went down, the color got lighter. And then at the very tips, they were kind of like the color above my head on your screen, your background. So it just faded. There wasn't any really white feathers in there. And they acted like the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
So while I was sitting on top of the dome, it was as if I could see everything, but nobody could see me. Not even amongst ourselves. You had to be under that shroud with me. Now, I did see a couple of people from the chat whose faces I could recognize. But as far as interacting with anybody, I did not do that. But then I got there again. On the next night, I got there again, and my hair was in a braid.
Oh, I like that.
This is the second time that this Orthodox Byzantine cross has showed up. And, you know, when I see that, I think of Saint Germain. There was a lot of purple going on in those wings again the second night, though they didn't shroud around me. And Saint Germain was said to be the last grand poobah of the Knights of Malta, which is what happened to the Knights Templar. The last holdout were the Knights of Malta. And I think that that's coming in because he is an extension of Merlin. And I think that Merlin sometimes now is coming to me as Saint Germain.
Oh, interesting.
Where most of the time I don't ignore him, but I don't purposely set out to talk to Germain.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So you got there 2 nights?
Yeah, and there's that shape that I was trying to describe to you guys, right?
Oh, yeah. That kind of looks
So,
like a crystal.
well, and it kind of looks like a rabbit with 3 ears.
Yeah.
Right? Or a kangaroo or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't understand what it is because it's just so continuous. But it isn't like the shape of any country or even an area within a country like Ukraine, because I end up there sometimes with the war. But at any rate, yesterday morning, it turned into 3 blades like a propeller. And then there was that big drone strike from Russia into Ukraine. So I'm wondering if that is really the shape of a drone. It's just
It does kind of look like
right?
the shape of a drone.
Right. And it's coming through in that graph that I always see. So even where there's a part that's curved, then it's only lit up halfway on that graph board.
Interesting.
Yeah, right.
Wow. So tell us about so we're just finishing, we had the lunar eclipse yesterday, the full blood moon. Tell us about the astrology. And it doesn't have to necessarily be about right now, but tell us about the astrology that you do.
Oh, that I do? I do, I help you learn your chart, understand your chart. So that can be a basic reading. And then if you are able to understand what's in your chart, I go on and we'll go into what the transits are doing. And the transits are always a good example to use anyway. But if you don't understand the basics of how it all braids together, it's hard to understand what the transits are going to do. But just understanding your chart is such a breakthrough for everybody, because then you understand what everything is that you're talking about.
Yeah.
The trines and the sextiles and the squares and the oppositions and the conjunctions and all the other stuff and the quincunx and all that fancy stuff. So in particular, and Barbara's here, so this will be a good segue. This eclipses are based on the nodes of the moon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Right. So when we had this was the last lunar eclipse of 2025. Thank you. So with that, the sun is in Virgo, the moon is in Pisces, and the North Node is in Pisces, conjunct the moon at the time of the eclipse and at the time of the full moon. And Virgo is conjunct, the sun rather in Virgo was conjunct the South Node. So what we have here are the two oppositions, right? Mm-hmm. The sun and the moon opposite the opposite. The sun is now opposite the North Node and the moon is opposite the South Node. So you have this hourglass figure. And because they were just a couple of degrees apart, right? Well, the moon is going to go over it and the sun is going to go past it. So the hourglass is going to widen. But at that time of conjunction, they are reinforcing what the other one is telling you to do. So the sun, let me say it this way first. The North Node and the South Node are always at the same degree in your chart and in transiting charts. They match up perfectly. They are the perfect oppositions. I don't see oppositions. Oppositions can be difficult, but that doesn't mean you have to argue with yourself. I look at an opposition as a conjunction at a distance. Because when two planets are conjunct right next to each other, as the sun and the South Node were, they're working together. Mm-hmm. When it's opposite, who are you going to fight? Yourself? Particularly with your north node and south node, because that is your pole star. And how do you keep that balance? If the teeter-totter goes up too high, you got to do something on this end, right? You got to do this and do this and do this. So now with the eclipse, you have the sun conjunct the south node and the moon conjunct the north node. And so now they are both as luminaries lighting up.
Interesting.
Let me shut my phone off. Lighting up the opposite release. The south node represents what is holding us back, what we have to get rid of in order to go forward. And the north node shows us where we're going, where we're headed, what do we want to do, how are we going to get there. And we all know that if you don't let go of something old that no longer serves your purpose, you cannot go forward to put something new. There's no more room on the shelf. Something's got to go. Or you have to buy another shelf, right?
Right.
Which sometimes leads you to a bigger house.
You seriously, Diana, could teach astrology?
You know, I have done so in private situations with people, get a small group together and done that. I love to teach it. I do love to teach it. And it keeps me sharp also. Keeps me, thinking all the time.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Lorraine. Thank you for being here. Lorraine says the cross of Lorraine.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So it is the Byzantine cross for Catholic Orthodox, because Byzantine is a Catholic Orthodox. But then the Russian Orthodox and the Greek Orthodox are just the same as the Byzantine. So it is the real old ways, the real old laws. The Essenes, is that it? The Essenes were I can't remember which one it is, but it is just the old ways.
Yeah.
With no newfangled notions involved.
Annie said, that what we were trying to do, she said it looks like an amping device, Diana. What we thought maybe was a drone or crystal or whatnot. I can see that too.
Yes, because it's lighting me up probably where things were going on, or things somewhere in, if I really think about this, because of what we've got going on in LA and DC and Chicago, proposed for Chicago, that could be showing pockets of where activity is going to be ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Picking up garbage because, there's nothing else for them to do.
Right. And Andrea says the shape kind of looked like a bird-like to her.
Yes.
I can see that too.
Yeah, for sure. An item PF span and measurement perhaps is in a dimensional sense. Okay. Yeah, this is hard to figure out because it's been coming to me every morning. What did I say? It's probably 8 weeks now. It's probably really close to 2 months now.
It's been coming to you for that long? I didn't realize it was coming that long.
Yeah. And it's
wow.
and it's, I open my eyes, there it is. I close my eyes and it's emblazoned. Sometimes I see it before I wake up. Like when I get coding and I see you at the board working.
Yeah. Andrea has a question. While you were at the White House, did you pick up on any energies that normally protect, inform the White House dwellers?
The butler and the house crew, yes. As for the rest of them, no. I don't. They're not of this earth. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Many of them.
You know, right. I was listening to, I think it was Steve Judd this morning. They think they've got their bunkers and they've got their places to hide and stuff like that. But then they're going to pay a pilot to take them somewhere. And then what? They're not going to take care of that pilot?
Right.
Who's going to work for them?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And there's this crazy movie. Somebody here, I think Rossi already knew the name of this movie. It has Meryl Streep and a bunch of other stars in it. And they get on this spaceship because the Earth is going to be demolished. And they get on a spaceship and they go running up and land on this planet. And this guy who organizes all of this is psychic, and he knows the name, but he doesn't know what the name is of this thing that's going to kill Meryl Streep. And they're on this beautiful planet, and there's trees or plants and that come to life and all this stuff. And this one beautiful flower opens up and bites Meryl Streep's face off.
I don't think I've seen it.
That would be a Jabberwocky, but it wasn't Jabberwocky, but it was one crazy word like that. So
yeah. I wish I could help you. I'm so bad when it comes to movies. I mean, the movies that I watched last week, I couldn't tell you what the names of them were. It's really bad.
I watched one last night called The Penguin Lessons.
How was
Very
that?
good movie. It's on Netflix. At first, I wasn't about to watch it, but then he was too good looking to not keep watching.
I love it.
Well, because he was an older actor, and I don't know if he's Australian or if he's from Britain, probably Britain. But anyway, it was a good movie, and I'm glad that I did watch it. And it's based on a true story.
Oh, I like the ones. I like the ones that are based on a true story. Viviani, hello. Thank you for being here. And I see Rush came in. Rush, hello. Denise, hello. Thanks you guys for being here. I don't want to miss anybody. We really do appreciate you taking your time today to spend it with us.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. So tell us more about Diana.
Well, I saw my first alien when I was 4 or 5 years old. It's yeah. I was sitting and I was talking to him for, all my life before that, but didn't understand that they're not Earthlings. But
oh, interesting. So, well, I suppose, and that would make sense. When you're 4 or 5, you just assume that you don't know that there's
exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nothing scares you much when you're like 1 or 2 years old, because that's what your dreams look like anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
So it was right around my 5th birthday. I can't remember if I had just turned 5 or was just getting ready to turn 5. And I'm sitting on the front porch in Detroit, Andrea. And I look to my left, and there's a giant praying mantis. He had the body of a blue lubber, which is a grasshopper, but it's a beautiful, beautiful, deep blue that has a yellow stripe around the segments of it. And I mean, it's like a chevron, that yellow. Anyway, it was beautiful. And he was on his haunches, and he was as tall as I was. And then he stretched up, and he was really tall.
Wow.
And I'm looking at him and I'm smiling and he's looking back at me and nodding his head. And I can remember saying, I think I said, "Don't go away." And I stood up to go get my mother, came back, and he was gone. "Stop making things up, Diana. Knock it off."
Of course, right?
So that was my first encounter. And
that's cool.
Been in Michigan in the 50s, there was a lot of ET traffic in the sky. Mm-hmm. This is not normal stuff. And let me fast forward to my mom in about late 80s. Aaron was born already, so it must have been in 83, 84. She had some surgery, and they took an implant out of her. That was a piece of metal, and it was shaped like a triangle. And when it died, it got lost. And so I don't have it. It was in the house, and I was in her house, and I had my hands on it. And somehow or another, it got thrown out. It was just in a pill vial. And I say I am not of this earth. I really don't think I am. I mean, I know I'm a hybrid, but I think I'm more from out there than I am here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just those two things, Diana. I mean, seriously, that's amazing. I think I'd maybe heard about the encounter when you were 4, but I had no idea about your mom having an implant.
Well, and that's just it. They couldn't identify it. They didn't know what it was. It wasn't aluminum, and it wasn't flimsy.
Interesting. Okay, go on. Tell us more.
So that just led me to always believing in whatever I was hearing or seeing, that I was just being given more.
Yeah.
When I was raised Roman Catholic, I love so much about the church. I don't like a lot of things about the church, but there's so much about the tradition and the foundation. And when I would go to church as a 4-year-old, I would understand Latin. And I belonged to a Polish parish as well. They would say it in Polish, and I would understand what they were saying. Can I speak that now? No. Latin, that's kind of basic, but Polish is not an easy language. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a cross between all of them, Lithuanian and Russian and Armenian, and that is all the old alphabet too. So at any rate, when I was littler, I could understand it. And the one vision that never goes away is the priest it was high mass. And so, of course, it was said, and of course, back in the 50s, it was all in Latin anyway. And this was the old altar. He's standing behind with his back to the audience, right? So as he's turning around, he goes, "Ecum spiritu tua." Well, that's Latin. And he's saying it in high mass. So he's, "Ecum spiritu tua." And he turns. And in my head, I hear, "Here comes the spirit through the wall."
Right?
But he was there. The dove was there. The light was beaming down. This was a priest that everybody loved and probably wasn't a naughty man. And he was older, and it was Father Bertram. And he died not too long after that. I'm getting chills seeing this again because it is still emblazoned in my eyes, in my soul. That was the moment I knew that what I see isn't false.
Yep.
And my Native American chief is local to the area, Chief Tonquish. His territory was right where I was living. I'm a West Sider. And all of his territory was the Plymouth Livonia suburb area, which brought him up here to where I'm living now. But in that, I didn't know who he was. And my brother now lives in right at the dividing line between Livonia and Plymouth. Now, Plymouth is an ancient town, right?
Yeah.
It's got, there's a burial ground in there that has Civil War soldiers, and even an American Revolutionary soldier is in there. And it's also where it is believed that one of the pots from the Three Fires Confederacy, which would have been here, is buried. And it's probably, as far as I'm concerned, it's in that graveyard, but they're not going to dig that up to look for it.
No.
That's hallowed ground, and that's ancient hallowed ground. So my brother's house is very close to this very historic area. He lives not far away from Edward Hines Drive, Rouge River Park, and that is all of Tonquish's place. And there's all this crazy activity around his house. So I went in to do a clearing. And I saw the whole thing play out. And this is when I found out that Tonquish is my chief. I saw this whole thing play out, and I knew nothing of the history of Tonquish and his son, and how the settlers that were there, because this was like just before the Civil War or right after the Civil War, the settlers from Plymouth were going to kick the rest of these Indians out. And this was all of their territory. This was where the River Rouge goes, brings you up here. And in that was their trade route to come up here to the Saginaw, to another one of the pots. And so I saw the son get killed, but how I saw it happen is I became Tonquish. I'm laying in the shaman's hut, which is a longhouse, and I'm laying on the cot as Tonquish, and tears are streaming down my face, and I turn my head, and there on the other cot is my dead teenage son, because they shot him in the back. And Tonquish, during that confrontation, Tonquish knew that they were going to turncoat on them, that they weren't there to be friendly. They were trying to get rid of them. And so Tonquish, in native language, hollers out to his son, run as fast as you can. And so his son turns to run, and they shoot him in the back and kill him. And then they beat Tonquish. Well, Tonquish gets to the shaman's hut. The shaman is praying over his son. Well, that is right on the land where my brother lives. All that energy is there.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And consider that that's the shaman's hut. That shaman's hut has other energies in it from other people crossing over or being ill or anything, from medicine to faith that would go on in there. And so all of these activities. And then at one time, it is closed now. It was a nursing home right next door to the house when my brother was living in it. So again, it's something dealing with people crossing over or struggling, So all of that activity remains going on in there.
How many clearings did it take?
It ain't done.
It still isn't done.
It's probably not going to be done until they dig up that pot.
Mm-hmm. And how does he deal with it?
I don't know. You can he is a fabulous guitarist. The band Deep Cut is pretty well known in Detroit, and any other band that they've had together, but especially Deep Cut, because Deep Cut played for 25, 30 years as a band. Wow. And his house is very chaotic.
I can only imagine.
Especially since COVID, everything was, he kept everything. He's a Virgo. He kept everything steady and going the right direction. But when COVID happened and the bottom fell out on, the weekend band playing at the bar and the circuit, which doesn't happen anymore, is back to what it was in the early 70s, where you get hired for one night if you're lucky,
Right.
So in that, these energies sneak back in, and he has night terrors to this day, which he had as a child. So he's finally coming to grips with, what the hell did I do in a past life that this shit's following me around?
Right. Well, one would wonder, and his coping abilities have, I applaud him for his coping abilities, because I mean, it would take a lot to stay in a place that is that active. I know we've lived in places that have had many spirits, and it's a lot to handle. Your sleep is constantly disrupted, and the energy is just it's always, it just seems like it's always intense. And every time we've sold the house, I've cleared it to help the new owners. But I applaud him.
Yeah, and it's like you got to leave sage behind
for them, and in hopes that he will do it,
right,
that he will sage it.
Yeah, and he does, but he doesn't as well. And now now he's having to run around to make a dime, and gigs are far and few between. And what else happened is that the keyboardist died from COVID, because these were the early days. He didn't know he had it. He promised me the last night they played, he promised me he would go to urgent care right then and there. And he didn't. And he went to the bar next day, and he was watching the Lions game, and he was cursing at the bar because they were losing. He went home and died.
Oh, that's horrible.
So, one chaotic thing after another, and we look at these energies that we are all trying to deal with, all trying to make sense out of the chaos that's in them.
And this month, it's a lot. It's a lot for us. I mean, we just really need to band together as a community and as friends and sisters, and just help each other through it this month, because it's a lot. It's a lot of energy coming at us, but it, I always say it's a good thing, because it's gonna help us with our growth. But there's gonna be times where it feels, I visualize like a balloon ready to like take off, and like in the movie Up, and we're like all holding on, trying to stay grounded. And it's, so yeah, being grounded this month is going to take a lot of extra work.
It hurts, doesn't it?
Oh,
here, yeah. When it hurts, don't it?
Right?
They used to punch you in the arm, right?
Because there's the physical aspects of the energy of this month too, and it's really going to affect our bodies. I mean, the aches, the pains, everything are going to be a lot more this month.
Andrea's from Detroit, so she knows the places I'm talking about.
Oh, I love that.
She grew up on the east side, let me add, but that's okay.
Well, Denise, thank you for sharing, because I swear sometimes it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless it was like in the 60s.
Rush says
40s. I'm really good at the names from the 40s.
Right? Yeah. Well, and probably more so like the real classic movies I can do, but like what I watched last week, a month ago. Yeah. I would literally have to go look it up. I'm so sorry, Rush.
I know. But the thing is it could be from a past life, right? Mm-hmm. It could be a drac in the house. It could be. The thing is you have to put on your dragon suit and growl back, growl louder. You have the power. Be gone. You have no place here.
We do have the power, right?
Pamela, when I was a kid, I was a sleepwalker also.
I was too.
And we're both Gemini's.
Yep. I wandered a lot. Wandered around a lot as a kid.
I liked Fletcher's Castoria. The taste of that was all licorice, and I loved it, and molasses, and I loved it. And it was, a stimulant to help you relieve yourself. And I loved the taste of it. And my mother caught me over and over again putting something of mine from my bed into the closet and taking the bottle of Fletcher's Castoria out of it. Sleepwalking, doing this.
In your sleep.
In my sleep.
I remember one time my mom came into the living room and I was just sitting on the couch but I was sleeping. And she said, "Kelly, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm watching the fire." Because it was just an electric fireplace we had in the and it wasn't even turned on. And she said, "You need to go back to bed." But yeah, I wandered a lot.
Come on, honey. It's time to go to bed. Yeah.
Yep.
I used to sit at the screen window, no air conditioning. This was in the 50s. And it's summer, right? So the window would be up and I'd be playing the piano on my windowsill. Like it's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like it's a piano. That's what I always wanted to play. That and the cello. And everybody would line up outside my window, besides my dolls all across the bed, right?
Yeah.
So they would all be there. The praying mantis, probably a tall white or two, a couple of angels, Tonquish, everybody. Merlin, who I didn't know was Merlin,
Yep.
The three wise men showed up all the time. They're my guys. They're astrologers, man.
Oh, I love that. Carolyn says she was a sleepwalker as a child. And one night my parents found me 12 blocks from my house. Oh my gosh, Carolyn.
Oh, God.
Ooh,
that must have jolted everybody's nerves. Nice horse.
Right? And Sally is here.
Sally.
She said she's listening. Thank you for being here. And Kat, thank you. Thank you for being here. Anything else? I mean, because you wear many hats of talent.
Yeah, there's so many interesting things that happen, like, so we were having a seance. This was back in my hippie days, 1972 or something like that. Not that I've ever stopped being a hippie, but
I love it.
So me and the clan are having this seance, and the room really got humming so much that this crystal, it wasn't a candelabra, it was a vase, but it was big and heavy, and it was crystal. It floated off of the shelf that it was on and smashed onto the floor.
Oh, wow.
Everybody's sitting on the floor in a circle, so nobody was there to push it. Nobody was standing to make that happen. Just the room was vibrating. So the person that we were trying to call in was a spirit that lived in the house, and I guess they were saying, "Yeah, we're here, and we're not going."
Wow, that's a heck of a hello, right? I mean, yeah, they definitely wanted to get your attention.
And people, you need to listen to signs and omens. When you feel that little poke, listen. It has saved my life 4, 5 times. Once I was 12 years old and I was coming home from the Detroit Institute of Arts. I was taking a drama class there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my first go do it on your own thing that my mother had signed me up for. Well, I had to take an exchange bus. So you get so far down Woodward, and then I had to get on a Tireman Exchange. And when I got on this standing in line to get on this other bus, something just pulled me away from the line.
Yeah.
And I was like first in line, and I'm like, what's going on? These guys came running out of a pool hall that was there. One is tearing butt going down, running. The other one pulls out a gun and starts shooting at him. I would have been in a fire.
Oh.
So that was the first time where I know, that was the first time where I know I was saved. I was saved another time from a kidnapper. A guy in a car, trousers down, the whole 9 yards. And a friend of mine was walking with me. She saw before I saw what was going on. She grabbed me and ran. We ran. And then there was another time I was pregnant with my oldest child, who I gave up for adoption. And something told me to go visit another one of our houses. It was Wayne State Student Co-op. Angela, you might remember this, or maybe you were a little too young. It was 1971, and it was Easter weekend. So it was Holy Saturday.
Yeah.
And one of our friends had come in. We were trying to become a commune that had a working farm. And he had gotten this farm up in Mesick. And he had come down to visit with everybody to see, who's coming up and blah, blah, blah. Well, I left and went across the street. This is an area of Detroit that was the first mansions that were built by the auto industry. Mm-hmm. So these are very old homes and beautiful and ornate, and think of the Gilded Age.
Yeah. That's
what these are, right? So I'm sitting in this house watching big pregnant, and watching Sesame Street with one of the little kids that live in there. These are the early days of Sesame Street, right?
Yep.
And I see these two guys wearing long leather coats go up the fire escape to one of the guys that lived there. And I don't see him come back. And I don't think anything of it. They're just visiting somebody, and that's where Dennis lived. And they come, things happened so fast after that. However, it took time for that to happen as it was playing out in the house. I didn't know it, and nobody in that house knew what was going on over there. But then Dennis shows up at the house where I'm at, and he can't stop shaking because those guys had a 30-06 and a couple of other rifles, and they killed Frank, the guy who was gotten the farm in Mesick, and they shot his dog. The one bullet went through a guy's arm and landed in a girl's leg. So,
oh my Lord,
my angels had gotten me out of there, or I would have been in there for that as well.
You are really protected, girl.
Lucky, lucky, lucky. Definitely. And that's probably the biggest one of all. Then then something did happen, which I don't want to get into here, but it was the moment that changed my life and made me realize that I have a gift and I better start using it. And so I went to Colorado and just stayed by myself for a long time, and then came back to Detroit. and actually moved to the Upper Peninsula and lived in Marquette from 74 to 79. So it's a long story.
And here you are. And
yeah, and here I am. Here I am.
And shining your light so bright. And
you.
And I didn't even bring up that you are an amazing healer too.
Experience teaches us all that, doesn't it? I mean, whether we draw on it from ancestral knowledge or DNA imprints that we carry with us from one lifetime to another, it helps us with that. We end up surrounding ourselves with people like you and Terry and Allie and everybody who's got a channel and everybody who comes to the chat.
Yeah.
That we end up shining together.
Right.
And in that we project healing.
Yeah.
And that is just a support system in itself. And we don't even know we're doing it. We just do it.
Exactly.
And can I take this moment?
Yeah.
And Andrea, if you're still here, I don't know I know I haven't texted you yet, but we need extra prayers right now for Angela Carter-Mancy Mesquite. She went into the hospital yesterday. She has cellulitis. It hasn't been officially diagnosed yet, but certainly from my experience, that's exactly what it looks like. She is very weak and on an IV of antibiotics. She has a systemic infection, and she has an infection on her skin because she has open wounds from where the skin has opened. So those wounds are on her feet. Now, we can look at this with the energy of this eclipse and the Pisces moon and the liquid and the Neptune and the Saturn and everything that's going on, as Saturn has just gone back into Pisces, and Neptune is soon to follow back into Pisces where this eclipse took place. And in that, we can look at this as her body rejecting the toxins. Mm-hmm. And that's what this is doing for all of us as far as this eclipse and the nodal positioning. So if we could just take a minute for her, if I could say this prayer that I say so often.
I would love that, please.
Okay. So let's start with 3 deep breaths. And inhale it, leave at the top for a moment, and exhale through parted lips. Please place us in a steady stream of divine white light, the white light of divine guidance and divine grace. Mikhail, wrap your blue bubble of protection around us that shrinks to fit as we step into the healing teal green orb of Raphael that floats and shares and spreads and transfers. The divine white light, the white light of divine guidance and divine grace. Please keep Angela close to your hearts. Please keep Angela bathed in the white light and shower her in the grace. So mote it be.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I hope that helps everybody because we all need that right now.
We do. Thank you. Yeah, and continue prayers, and I'll be sending healing to Angela too, and thank you to everybody out there too that is, doing what they can to send healing, if it's just extra light or thoughts, just sending her some love, it goes unnoticed in the universe. They notice.
And she, her soul and her spirit guides know that we love her, but she right now needs to know that she has people who love her. And I am covered in chills. I can feel all of the light and love in this chat.
Me too. Yep. I'm covered in goosebumps.
For sure.
Is there anything else that we should hit on?
Well, let me just show you guys the book.
Yes.
It's the book you're looking for. By Gail McLeod. And she is, it's available on Amazon. And I did the artwork in it. There's only 5 or 6 pictures in here. Let me see if I can find a good one.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
My favorite one. Let me see. Where is that? That's after that other one. Let's see. No, the next one. Of course. Be patient.
We have patience. And Rush said, thank you, Diana.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Rush. Just lean into your night terrors. Don't forget, you can tell them. Be gone. And I always think of where the book, where the wild things are.
Yes.
And Max gets them and he goes, be gone.
Yep.
This is my favorite. Unfortunately, it doesn't transfer very well from book to screen, but I love the way the alien turned out.
It looks really good, Diana.
So I'm excited because I'm working on book 2 on the art for her, and she's almost done writing it. So thank you, Annie. I can't believe we've been here for an hour. Did we show the cards we got?
Yes. Yeah. We pulled some cards before we started backstage. And so, yeah, you go, Diana.
Okay. So I just got this great astrology deck that is plant life. And you know how I like my plants. So herbs, mostly herbs and astrology. So the first card that came out, I just realized that's the I Ching in here too. This is the planet of Venus, and it is Yarrow, and it is about harmony. And that crane is stretching his neck as far as he can to get some of that yarrow out of that hand.
Yep.
Right?
When I think of crane, I think of your chiropractor.
Yeah. Dr. Stork.
Yeah, or Dr. Stork, yeah.
Well, but the storks are just shorter cranes.
Yep.
They're all in the same family, right?
Yep.
And one of my guides is Oliver, who is King Blue Heron.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm. And then we have hibiscus with our own shadow work, right? And it is the joy that the hummingbird brings. In Native American, that is a symbol of joy and happiness. And I would imagine in quite a few others as well. Mm-hmm. Often represent someone who has crossed over that you really cared for. And then there's your shadow right behind you.
Oh, yeah.
All the way through your life, from childhood on to where you are today. Then the next card I got, what was that? This one is both Venus, and I can't tell. I need stronger glasses. The light's not so good, but Venus is this planet. And Palo Santo, which is, this is the exciting part, because this is the south node. This is protection, right? Guardianship. So smudging as you make way by letting go, that's the South Node and Venus again. It's amazing, right?
And so important right now with this full moon that we do that.
Especially because I couldn't have picked these out without going through the deck. I did not do that because here we have the moon conjunct the North Node for the final ashwagandha, which is your purpose, right? What no longer serves your purpose, but the purpose is found in the North Node as letting go of what no longer serves your purpose is found in the South Node. They work hand in hand. That's why I say it's a conjunction at a distance.
Yeah. Those were amazing cards, Diane.
Aren't they? They're beautiful. They're a little dark to use on, especially when we'll be on a show at night. The backgrounds are all dark, so it's kind of hard to see them. But they're beautiful.
They are so beautiful. I used 3 decks, and this is a new one I got over the weekend, and I don't know. Oh no, I do know the name of it.
That's what that was.
The Threads of Karma, and I got release the soul burden. What you carry in silence still shapes your path. Speak it, feel it, and finally let it go. And that was a new deck. This is Rebecca Campbell, Healing Waters, I think is this deck. And it's let it go, release the past, forgive, soften, and move forward. And I, and we all do need to let go, but I think what hits me in this is soften, because the energies right now are so harsh and even like a little bit brutal. And so softening our tone, which I think I need to maybe work on a little bit. So I think it's maybe a message for me too, and to help us move forward. And the stagnant waters, feeling stuck, a call for shifts, flow and change. And
love that.
So if we're feeling stuck, stagnant, or whatever, sometimes it's just taking that little baby step is all we need to do. And a lot of times it requires us stepping out of our comfort zone just a little bit to get that energy moving. And then this is Moonology deck, and it's called the Moonflower, Take a Risk. And I think sometimes that fear that we hold on to so tightly, and I find even, as I get older, speaking of myself, as I get older, it's harder to take those risks as it was when we were younger. And so I think this is just a reminder to us that, you know what, no matter our age, we can still take those risks.
That was my advice to people who had a Scorpio moon. Yesterday, Valerie and I did our moon show, right?
Yes, I need to watch that.
And that was what I told anybody who had a Scorpio moon. And since the nodes are also reflective of the moon, that is it applies as well. So if your South Node or North Node is there, it's like you're being given a free pass. Take the risk. You're going to be successful. And I discovered that little symbol there is Pluto. So this is Palo Santo, right? But what is fascinating to me now, I just looked at the bottom of the deck, and it was Cat's Claw, which is all about purification, which is exactly what we use Palo Santo for.
Sure.
Yep. So what's on the bottom of your deck? I love to know what's on the bottom of the deck.
On the bottom of my deck is Metamorphosis, Embrace Transformation.
North and South Node again.
Things are now different, right? And how how true. I mean, because we are changing. I didn't use this deck, but I got this one over the weekend too, but on the bottom is wisdom.
Oh, now what deck is that?
This one is, well, I treated myself because it was our anniversary yesterday. So I treated myself to some cards. The Cosmic Crossroad Oracle.
Oh, interesting.
And I like it because they're a little bit smaller.
Ah,
you know, and so
narrower. Yeah.
I have so many crystals here, so I don't have much room. And so, but yeah, I shouldn't have showed that one because I didn't even use that deck. But this one is Synchronicity. The moon's moment.
I like that card. Now that is that the
this is the Moonology deck.
The Moonology deck.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I need another deck because 200 isn't enough.
Right. And I do have my eye on another one that cause I got three decks and I still have my eye on another one. And so, you know what? It's whatever. There was some deals going on over the weekend.
Well, and you know what? Some people that we leave these things behind to are going to be happy they have them, because just like every other deck of cards, playing cards have value as time goes by and they've survived. Greeting cards, especially as it becomes less and less available to purchase or more and more expensive, you just take them and repurpose them.
Oh, right. And I have many of what's her name? Doreen Virtue that aren't made anymore, that I had taken one of her classes. And so I have a bunch of those. So yeah, like you said, it's these will be nice gifts to leave behind.
Yeah, right? I've got this one Cardmancy deck that is it's a smaller deck. It's from probably 1951, 52. It was my husband's grandmother's, and she's got little cues written all over it. But to have this,
love that.
I know. To have this deck, I don't use it because I don't want to smudge her pencil writing or anything, you know. But it's great for a grand tableau because there's 28 cards in there.
What a treasure to have. That's pretty special.
Right? For sure.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with Diana and I. And Diana, thank you for sharing your story, your insight, your wisdom, and just hearing those stories. I really, really cherish those. Those I will keep near and dear to my heart.
Thank you. And you need to come on, and we need to see how you got your start.
Well, and we kind of did, though, you know, when we did the 9 candles, you know, that was, I really appreciated that. That was so nice. And it's just, you know, we all kind of know each other. And for those that, you know, new subscribers, it's just a way for people to get to know one another. I think it's important.
Right.
Well, thanks you guys for hanging out with us, and we will hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow night at 4 for the Dream Show. And until then, love you all, and thanks again, Diana. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for having me. I loved it.
Bye-bye.